and welcome back to my channel, back to a usual video this week. I know that last week it was more of an informative one and only really helped those that have my spreadsheet or that were thinking about getting it, but I needed to get that up just so that I always have somewhere to refer people to, because people are buying my spreadsheet every week and I just always want everyone to have as much help as possible. Hopefully you have seen it if you wanted to already, but if not, it is the last video that literally goes through how to use the spreadsheet. This week I thought I would share how I'm getting on with my January budget, because obviously lots has come in and gone out. We're halfway through the month and I just wanted to see sort of like where we're at and what the end of January might look like. If you remember my video for where I was budgeting January, it was still quite tight, touch and go as to whether I was comfortable this month in terms of all of my bills and everything, and actually it is panning out okay. I have had a few extra expenses that I was a little bit worried about, but I have sat and filled out my whole budget spreadsheet and I'm feeling much less worried about it. If you're new, I'm Yasmine. I'm a single mum. I live in London. I have 2 children and 2 dogs. I work full-time as a project manager and I do content creation on the side, and that is all to get me out of £50,000 worth of debt. So I have had a very up and down last few years, and now I'm quite settled in a new role with a fixed salary. I don't share my actual salary, but I share an overall income just through sort of like to have some privacy with that, but you will see my income and my outgoings. I do separate out side hustles and selling on Vinted and things like that, so I will have videos where I'll go into more detail, and hopefully there is enough for you to get a good picture of my finances to follow along. Right, so let's get into February. I think I kept saying January. February this is. How are we getting on with February? I don't know why I always mix months up. So I have already inputted everything because, like I said in the last video, sometimes it's a bit boring to watch me type everything in, but I will take you through each category, what I've spent where. When I've gone over, we'll talk about why it's gone over and that kind of thing, or if there's any unders. So my total income for the month was £3,000. So that was from my salary and from some money that I could pay myself through my business. I am expecting £500 child maintenance, which I haven't received yet at this point, so I'm filming this on the 16th of February. Usually get that a bit later in the month, and I am due to get child benefit. Now going forward, I will not be able to keep my child benefit because I will be in a position where I'm earning too much and I'll have to pay it back. I find it so frustrating, let me know if you do too, that I can earn up to, I think it's £60,000 now before I have to start paying back the child benefit, but you could have a couple who both earn £59,000 and get to keep all of their child benefit, even though between them they're earning so much more than me. I think it is such an unfair rule on single income households, so that's single parents and people who one of the parents don't work. They should also be able to keep it. But anyway, it really winds me up. So anyway, I'm going to keep my child benefit this month because I need it. But as of next month, I will still receive it, but I'll put it straight into a savings account ready to pay back when I do my tax return. But I haven't received that yet. That's coming on Monday. So on interest, I had a positive amount in my bank account because I store all the money for my bills, so I got £6.19 interest, which I'm not going to complain about. So my expected income for the entire month is £3,670, and I've currently received £3,000, and I will be, if everything goes to plan, I will have received £6.19 more than originally planned. For my expenses, I had planned to spend £130 on dog food. Now that is roughly what I spend every month. However, I have spent £255 on dog food this month. I honestly don't know what's happened or why. One of the dogs was a little underweight, so I think I've been like really worried and making sure I'm feeding them loads. I did have to top up their treats because I had no money last month. Like everything ran dry, so obviously they've got like little supplements and stuff. So I think it's just one of those things where, because I had a bit more money, I was like, right, now, you know when you let everything run out and then you have to buy everything in one go? It was kind of one of those. I also invested in a like 10 kilo bag of biscuits because we keep the dog food in the freezer and the kids keep forgetting to take it out when they've used up the last bit. And then so we fall back on biscuits because they have a mix. Anyway, the biscuits kept running out and I was like, I don't want another day where I look around and then I have to defrost dog food to be able to feed them. It's just, I can't deal with it. So I bought a 10-kilo bag of dog food. So there's always going to be dog food until that runs out, which is going to take ages. I have 2 small sausage dogs for anyone who hasn't seen. So this 10-kilo bag should last a long time. So I've just kind of like sorted myself for ages for dog food now. I actually think that next month I might be able to get away with spending less because I've got so much dog food in my house. Food, I budgeted £200. That is not a lot of budget for food for a month for a family. The reason I've budgeted 200 is because I still had some credit on my Gusto. So I'll leave a link below. There's 70% off at the moment. Sometimes it's 65. People use my link and get 70 or 65% off their first order, and then I get some credit. So I knew I had some credit going into this month and that I would use that for dinners. So I budgeted a lower amount on food. I think usually without the Gusto, I probably budget around 300. But yeah, I've managed to stick within that so far. You can see I'm at 124 with half of the month to go. Callum's lunch, I've budgeted 80. I've spent 80 so far, which makes me think I might end up, I don't know, I put 50 on last week, so he should be okay till the end of the month, but we'll see. That might be one that goes slightly over. And petrol, I haven't spent any money on petrol yet this month. I spent 50 very late last month, and so far I've got half a tank left. Health, I put £10 in, but I haven't spent anything. Personal, I only budgeted 10, but I have actually spent more than that. So that includes, I spent £15 on a charity comedy night ticket at my son's school that I wanted to support. It was actually amazing. For anyone who knows British comedians, Nikki Flanagan was like a special surprise guest that nobody knew. They didn't even say like there will be a surprise guest, but there was, and it was Nikki Flanagan, which was amazing. I went with 2 of my friends, so between us we were able to contribute £45 to the school, which is all just like fundraising for the school, which is amazing. So yeah, that was a really nice evening out, and I didn't spend any money on drinks when I was there, so I kept it as tight as I could. I also went to the pub with my daughter and met my friends, and that was like £9.70, and I spent £30 in Superdrug on some personal items. I think I did a video on TikTok about it. I just needed a few bits and pieces of like healthcare-y stuff, so I need to think about budgeting a little bit more for personal, because £10 is a little bit unrealistic, especially now that I'm back at work and there's like different things that I need to consider. I had to go and get nail varnish remover because I've been doing my own nails, and I painted my nails but didn't realise I didn't have any remover. So that was one of the reasons why I went, and that's one of the things that's in that money that I spent. Household is a little bit like dog food. I've had to buy so many cleaning products this month because I was running out. I also had to spend £50 on a new filter for my water filter because it stopped working, and I don't know where all of you guys live, but I really don't trust drinking London tap water. I actually live quite close to a place called Beckenham where they had E. coli breakout from the water. I know that some people think it's conspiracy theory and stuff, but the water where I live is not clean. So I use a water filter, and to be honest, I wouldn't be without it. So for me, that's like an essential spend. So I bought a new filter it's got 3 types of filters. One runs out every 2 years, one runs out every year, and one runs out every 6 months. And I had to replace the 6-month one. But I do need to get a bit of a sinking fund. So going forward, that's not a surprise spend. The other thing I bought as well is that I have a bin. It's like a Brabantia bin, and it had 3 sections in it when I bought it, but it just didn't work for us. The bin bit was too small, the recycling bit didn't fit much in it, the food waste was too big, so it just wasn't working as a 3, and as a consequence we have just left it and not used it for about a year. I've finally found a big bucket to replace the 3 small buckets, and that was about £30, so that's also in that household thing. But again, it's not like we could have lived without it and just used a bag, but it was like, oh my god, this is so amazing, I'm going to be able to use the bin again. I want to, so I decided to go ahead and buy that. I've managed to get through the month so far without spending any money on dog walker, so that's amazing. Pulling in favours where I can, so that's been really good. Travel, I have been going to the office a lot less because I've had this chest infection for the whole month than planned, so there's still some money to come there, but at the moment I haven't spent that whole budget because I haven't been going into the office as expected. Callum's clubs, I budgeted 40, it was actually 30 because I had £5 credit from last month because I overpaid by accident, and just because of the way that the dates work out, it's £30 for this month. Clothes, not budgeted anything, not spent anything. Amber's club, £70. It's for her gymnastics, which I just haven't paid yet, but I do need to pay that. My lunch, I budgeted 27 and I've spent 12. Eating out, I didn't budget anything, but I did get a takeaway one night because I was late back from work. I had some stuff going on with the kids. I can't remember what it was, but it was an evening where I was almost going to have a breakdown about having to cook dinner. So I just got takeaway because that's what I needed to do right then and there. So yeah, £33.53. Kids activities, I paid for cinema tickets for next week for half term, and I also paid for bath bomb making activity at Lush, which was really good value actually. It was £8 each, and they got a bath bomb that they made and a bath bomb that they gave them. So like already that's at Lush, like you wouldn't get 2 bath bombs for £8. So plus they got the activity, and they got some samples of like creams and stuff like that. They loved it. It was good. And then £26. I think I might have put that in twice actually. Oh, there. I think I did this twice. Oh, I think that one is incorrect. I'm going to delete that. I've put the same payment in twice by accident. So gifts is £13, which was a present for Callum's friend because it was his birthday and he went and hung out with him. And then kids, this is unbudgeted spend, £36. Callum needed a new calculator because a kid borrowed it and didn't give it back. He needed a new pencil case because his pencil case had broken, and Amber really wanted a book, and I didn't have the brain capacity to go and take her to sign up to the library and get that, which is what I want to do this year, more of that sort of stuff. But I just bought her the book, which was the first book of the Hunger Games, and she is a kid who hates reading, so because she really wanted to start reading this book, I was like, yes, I'm going to buy the book, and she actually has been reading it, so I'm really happy because she needs to be reading more. So that's that. So just moving on to bills then. Childminder, I budgeted 100 and it was 101. Council tax didn't come out this month. Woo! Vet for Sunny is 21, vet for Sid is 20, and they're actually both 21 now, so I just need to update the budget because I think that I don't know, one of them's gone up, so it's like the same price for both. Pet insurance, I put the ticks in when I've allocated the money in my bank account. So these ticks down here, these little green ticks, I haven't paid the pet insurance yet, but I've ticked it in green because I know I've got the money in that pay pot. So £51 is due to come out for the pet insurance. Breakfast Club was 25, not 30. Again, I think that's just how many Mondays there are in the month. Mortgage, I've ticked it because I've got the £952 set to one side, but I haven't paid it yet. Phone, again, is sorted. Home insurance is £36, hasn't come out yet, but I do have the money to one side. Energy is going to be £181.58. I had budgeted 180, and I have got the money to one side. It says it's paid, but it's due to come out next week. But life insurance, £14. I've got the money to one side for that. Water, the money is put to one side, £42. Internet, I don't have the money to one side at the moment. And car is 138, and I don't have the money to one side at the moment. But I will be getting my child maintenance and my child benefit next week and the week after. So I will then use that money to top up these two bill pots so that the money is in there. So I will still be able to pay them. And then just moving down to debt, I had my Santander has come out on the 1st. I've updated these dates now because they were wrong last time. MBMA came out, it was much more. So I had budgeted it as £484, but it's now up to £522, and that is because of the ever increasing interest. What a joy. But that has been paid, and I did have the money for that. That should be ticked actually. I can tick Virgin because I know I've got the money set to one side for that, and I know I've got the Amex money set to one side. So the Virgin one hasn't come out. It comes out on the 27th. I hope for it to be around £250, and then Amex is 150. So I have got the money set to one side for those. PayPal, I thought would be about £100. I get so confused with PayPal. I need to really look at it. It was £298, and I also got told off for not paying on time, but I did pay on time, so I don't even know what's going on there. I talked about this on TikTok, and loads of people were like, that happens to me all the time with PayPal. They take weird payments at weird times of the month, and it's really confusing. And then they get like marks against their credit score because they say they haven't paid. So I really need to spend some time looking at that and working out what on earth is going on. I'd really like just to clear it so that I don't even have to deal with them. If I get a lump sum of money from a brand deal or something, I think PayPal will be the first to get rid of because it is just annoying. And that's it. That is everything that's gone out and that I've been paying out. Obviously, I didn't budget to make any savings this month. I haven't had any extra money this month to make any extra debt payments or anything like that. So at the moment, have I got enough money to last for the rest of the month? Yes, I think so. It looks like it's going to be good. Have I got any excess money? Maybe a little bit. It says over here that I have £321 to budget. However, that is based on my budgets being slightly under in some areas. So I don't actually think I will end up with any money at the end. I just need to see how the actuals come through. But for example, because I've spent more on dog food by like £100 and I've spent more in some areas that I hadn't budgeted for, that £300 I think will be used up on those areas, but I will be okay for the month. So that is my February budget and how it is going. So this is a point where you can kind of see up here that my actual versus my budget, and yeah, you can keep an eye on these different things and see what your expenses breakdown. I mean, that expenses breakdown thing looks ridiculous. I've spent more on dog food than anything else this month, and obviously my income is almost all just my income. And then when you look at the total breakdown, I think it is just really sad to see that 50% of my income is going on debt. Like, how insane is that? It is what it is. I know it's my debt, but like, it's just insane to think that half of my income is going on debt repayments. What a wonderful world it would be when that is not the case. So yeah, I just wanted to show you as well, I have been using this planner. So what I do is I write down all of my transactions and then I just cross them off as I enter them into this spreadsheet. So you can see down here, these are all of my transactions. So I just sit and type all of those out, and then that filters up into the spreadsheet. And you can put a description and stuff, which is quite useful. So like some of the food stuff, like what this was a too good to go bag. And I know that these things here were like the WH Smith, so like the pencil case and the calculator and that kind of thing. So it's quite good to be able to look and like deep dive into where that money was spent. So yeah, that's been really, really helpful. I also wanted to give a bit of an update on how my low buy year was going. I have £50 sitting in my Vinted account from a few things that I have sold. I am still losing weight, so I think I've probably got a few other things that I could sell. I have posted on TikTok some of my videos of decluttering my kitchen. It's been amazing. I have finally decluttered my entire kitchen and got rid of so much stuff, and that has really opened my eyes up to how much stuff I had hidden away that I might have repurchased. I've just got things down to everything that we really use, and I actually got rid of stuff that probably was okay, but I gave it away to charity and stuff where we just had too much stuff. So I think, yes, it's about low buy for me and buying less to save money, but also buying less to have less stuff. But I also want to make sure that what we have is stuff that we're using, stuff that we love, stuff that really, really makes sense for us to own. So that has really helped. And because I went back to full-time work, it has helped in terms of having everything having its own place. I've been cooking a lot more, but I've found that less stressful because I'm not hunting around for the different things to cook with. So yeah, the kitchen is where I started in terms of the decluttering. I have definitely had moments where I'm like, oh, I would just like this, I would just like that, be it like a hairband or a bracelet or just little bits and pieces, which I can't financially afford anyway. But it's been really nice to be able to think about, I'm not buying it because I don't want to buy more stuff as well. And it's actually less triggering for me in a sort of emotionally spending sense if I'm not buying things because I don't want more things on top of the fact that I can't afford it. There's something about me telling myself that I can't afford it that makes me spend more money that I can't afford. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but that is where I've been before. So not buying things because I don't want to consume things is a really positive message in my mind that is becoming more and more substantiated all the time. There were a couple of purchases that I felt a little bit uncomfortable about this month. So one was the water filter. I was taken by surprise. I got the water filter machine about 6 months ago and I didn't read the manual because I never read manuals, and I thought that the filters lasted longer than 6 months. There's 3 different filters. One of them needs to be changed every 6 months. So I was in a bit of a panic because we use that water and I want to use that water. I don't want me or the children drinking the water from the tap here where I live. And so it felt like I really had to get it, but it was quite challenging because I hadn't budgeted it and I was worried that I was going to run out of money if I spent £50 on that filter. But I'm fine, as you've just seen, but it was an uncomfortable decision to make. And of course, if we had to drink the tap water, we could and we would. I just prefer us not to. So that's where it starts to get a bit complicated for me, whether it's, I find it really hard to judge whether it's an absolute need or whether it's my preference to not drink tap water. And I think it depends on who you talk to and who you listen to and what you read, because obviously we are told that our tap water is clean enough to drink. However, I also know that down the road people were really sick from the tap water. So yeah, I will actually leave a link below for the water filter that I use if it's something that you're considering. And with my link, you get £75 off the water filter unit. There's some that you can plug in underneath your sink and there's some that you can keep on the side. I've got just one that you keep on the side, but yeah, I'll put my discount code below because I did a lot of research into which water filter to use. So yeah, I 100% recommend this one. So yeah, that was an interesting kind of thought process in my mind. The other one was the bin. We've been living without the bin working for about a year, but the dogs try and jump up and get the bin bags, so I ended up putting the bin bags on the side. I don't want the bin bags on the side, and so I decided that £30 investment into making my bin work again, that I had previously spent like £150 on that bin, was worth it. And then obviously I spent a lot more on dog food and cleaning products than I had intended, but they are consumables, so that is not really adding things to the mix in terms of buying stuff we don't need. I've also started to keep my empties, so I will make a video each month on the things that I've used up, because I think if I focus on that, it will keep reminding me not to buy more stuff until I really know whether I want it or need it. Another thing that was a bit challenging for me is that I went to a TikTok event with L'Oreal and I got loads and loads of products, and I realised that I'm really fortunate to get these free products, but I did realise that's one of the reasons why I feel overwhelmed with stuff all the time, because I thought that with some press events you can go around and just select the things that you really want to try and really use, but they gave me a whole bag, which I'm grateful for, don't get me wrong, but they gave me a whole bag at the end, and there are some things in there like this, like I just genuinely I don't think I'll ever use this. It's NYX face glue gripping primer. I just don't think I'll ever use it, and now I've got it and I don't know what to do with it. So just really conscious that a whole bunch of stuff came into my house that wasn't the plan. Grateful for it. This shampoo and conditioner, I'm definitely going to use it. I'm really grateful to not have to buy shampoo and conditioner for a month now. But yeah, just another thing to sort of consider, as I am really trying to be conscious of what comes into my household, not just about what I'm spending. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see. I'm going to keep making videos. Hopefully, I really want to get it up to 2 videos a week. I would love to, because I do have that much to share. It's just the time to film and edit. So anyway, if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I try to reply to all of them. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell, because then you'll get a notification when my next video goes up. Thank you so much for watching and your continued support. And I will speak to you in the next one. Bye.